Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, Kid Rock had a concert in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and during that concert, he made some controversial statements. He said, "Call me a racist because I'm not politically correct." And he went on to condemn Black Lives Matter, basically saying that he doesn't need to be reminded that Black Lives Matter. And he also condemned Colin Kaepernick for not standing during the playing of the national anthem. And he's come under fire for those statements. And he also made some statements that were basically covert attacks on black people. You know, he was complaining about deadbeats milking the system. He was complaining about single mothers having children that they can't afford. He was complaining about deadbeat dads who glorify ghetto life and who are gangster wannabes. And he talked about how they need to be locked up and the key should be thrown away. He referred to them as assholes and all that kind of stuff. And this guy has become criticized. A lot of people criticized him harshly, you know, said that his concert that he had yesterday in Detroit should be canceled and all that kind of stuff. And so in response to that, he made a long post, I think it was on Facebook, and he talked about how people are trying to use the Confederate flag issue to stir the pot. And for those of you who don't know, this man endorsed the Confederate flag. This man celebrated the Confederate flag. And he said people are bringing up these issues because he's running for office. That's the only reason why they're bringing these issues up. He went on to criticize charities for not speaking out on his behalf. He says that he gave so much to these charities and they're not defending him. And then he went on to say this. He said, "F anyone who sits or takes a knee during the playing of the national anthem." So I want to take time to respond to this. So as I was saying, he had a concert in Detroit, Michigan yesterday, and a lot of people protested against him because of these statements, and rightfully so. I'm glad that the people of Detroit protested against this man. This man claims to be the king of Detroit, but he has no respect for the black people in Detroit. This man claimed that he loved black people during that Detroit concert. And the only reason why he said that is because people were protesting against him, because people were condemning his outlandish and outrageous and ridiculous statements. That's the only reason why he said he loves black people. The only thing he loves about black people is black music and black culture, because this man loves, like so many other people, to appropriate black music and culture, to appropriate black styles and customs and all that kind of stuff for financial gain, just like Elvis exploited black culture, stole from black culture, milked black culture. And after milking black culture dry, people like Kid Rock and Elvis have no respect for the black people that they borrowed the music and culture from or stole the music and culture from. No respect at all. And sadly, too many of our people are willing and eager to enable people like a Kid Rock or Elvis or the next great white hope who's pimping black culture for their own personal gain. So after this man milked and pimped black culture, this man decided to transition away from hip hop and move into country music. And as the brother Keith Owens pointed out in my last Google Hangout, as he transitioned to that crowd, he tried to pander to that crowd by becoming and expressing these types of views, you know, embracing the Confederate flag, saying all this negative stuff about Black Lives Matter and Colin Kaepernick and all that kind of stuff. He wanted to appeal to those crackers who love country music. And when I say cracker, I'm talking about cracker with 3 Ks. He wanted to appeal to those ignorant redneck fools. So he played the tune that they like to hear, you know, this racist message. And then this man, after exploiting black culture and disrespecting black people, he has the nerve to say he loves black people. You can't love black people when you condemn a group like Black Lives Matter who is fighting to protect black lives. You can't love black people when you condemn a black man for making a bold, courageous stand against police brutality involving black people. If you love black people, you would support the movement for black lives. You would understand the importance of the fight against police brutality. If you loved black people so much, you wouldn't embrace the Confederate flag, a symbol of racism, a symbol of slavery, a symbol of treason, a symbol of oppression. If you love black people, you wouldn't embrace that flag. That's like me saying I love Jews and I'm walking around draped with a Nazi flag or I have a Nazi outfit on. The message of professing love for black people doesn't match with the message of parading around, celebrating a Confederate flag, and condemning those who have the courage to speak out against police brutality. You know, black people helped make you. Black people taught you. Black people helped you, inspire you to get into rap music. But yet you're going to basically crap on black people by talking about deadbeat fathers and people milking the system and all that kind of stuff. You're basically talking about black people. I mean, what you're doing is using dog whistles to condemn black people. And it's just a shame that any black person would support your career, that any black person would buy a ticket to your show, that any black person would participate in your show. I'm glad the people of Detroit stood up. And, you know, this man, after disrespecting black people in this way, has the nerve to refer to himself as the king of Detroit. When Detroit is a predominantly black city, that man needs to be ran out of Detroit. He shouldn't be able to come to Detroit without facing protesters. So I just had to express this. Tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm just sick of these people exploiting our culture, milking us dry, and then disrespecting us time and time again.